All week. He was out. He was on the COVID list. He comes back on Friday, throws 50 passes, goes out on Sunday, crushes it. Best passing game of the season in a win against the Bengals. The Steelers are perfect. Ben thinks to himself, hey, second verse, same as the first. Goes to Coach Tomlin, says, buddy, why don't we roll it back? I'll take the week off. I'll come on Friday. I'll warm up. I'll go out on Sunday. Reporters asked Mike Tomlin about this, to which Mike Tomlin said very succinctly, we did have that conversation. I will acknowledge that conversation. It was a brief conversation, and I will see Ben at practice on Thursday. Thank you very much. And that right there, folks, that is why we love ourselves a little Mike Tomlin every single week. All right, let us move on. Stay with football. Talk the MVP race. Up until now, Russell Wilson was your leader, off to that blazing start. But his fire has lost some flame the last couple of weeks. Couple of bad games thrown in there. Our friends at Fox Bet have noticed. Patrick Mahomes is now the new MVP favorite. Russ is in second, followed by Aaron Rodgers. Nick, this had to have come as a complete and total shock to you.
Yeah, so listen, sometimes I get put in a bad spot. Sometimes I just get put in a bad spot because I'm not supposed to be, you know, the unlikable, overly arrogant person on the show. But when you have so many predictions so clearly correct that come true, you just get painted into this corner. I remember a few weeks ago when the MVP discussion was Russell Wilson and then nobody else. And Wilds mocked me. Because when it came up, I did this. I went, oh, my God. I think that's Patrick Mahomes sneaking in the back door. Well, he's no longer sneaking in the back door. He is sitting at the front of the class, waving at everybody, wondering how big the gap's going to get between him and everybody else. Because when you're the best player, and of the candidates you have the best record, and you have the best numbers, it's not going to be close. So, Brandon, I do think your guy, Russell Wilson, has a very good chance to be MVP of the NFC West. It's close. It's a close call who's going to be the MVP there. But when we talk MVP of the league, we know who it's going to be. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes, Brandon.
Woo. Okay. So, look, I played with the guy. I love the guy. Russell Wilson, he is the man on and off the field. Look, it was a preseason prediction. You guys made us pick. I had to pick my teams, my outliers, my dark horse, with the black horse, whatever you guys, dark horse, what is it called? Dark horse. I picked the Colts. Dark horse, right? I say Russell Wilson's going to be the dark horse. Russell Wilson's going to be the MVP. Look, and it was hot. It was hot for a couple of weeks.
It was looking
now
great.
It's time to concede to Nick Wright. Nick, take the ball. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, you can have it. Patrick Mahomes, here's your ball, Nick. And Patrick Mahomes, you can have it. But Nick, what do you say? With more information, you have the right to change your opinion, right?
Your opinion.
You said that, so still take integrity.
Yep.
I didn't know Russ was going to go out there and just turn the ball over like this the last 3-4 games. I didn't know that.
That's correct. Thank you. He's right. Wilds. When a man's right, he's right. Wilds. When he's right, he's right. Okay. We can be a quick segment. You can just agree as well, and we can keep it moving.
Quick segment. Go to break. Sponsors would love it. Brandon, I think that was a terrible job. An absolutely terrible job. Because you had the answer right there. No, you can switch it, but I'm going to take your lunch money here because your other great prediction was the Steelers. And we all laughed at you. You said Steelers to the Super Bowl. Brandon doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just saying that because he's from the Pittsburgh area. Next thing you know, Steelers are undefeated. And this guy has a chance at winning the MVP. It was right there for you. So I'm taking Big Ben. And Nick, here's the reason why.
That's right.
If Mahomes plays poorly, he could lose the MVP. Just like Russell Wilson kind of lost the MVP. But if Mahomes plays well and Big Ben plays well, then Big Ben has to be the MVP. If you're undefeated, you're the MVP. And we always, this is why, we always do this little game of like, what would happen if you took Mahomes away from the Chiefs? And what would happen if you took Russell Wilson? Like, what would happen? It's all this imaginary world. Well, we saw it last year with the Steelers. Last year, the Steelers were 8-8. Right now, they're undefeated. Last year, the Steelers were 31st in passing yards per game. Last year, the Steelers were 27th in points. Now they're 7th. Last year, the Steelers were first in QBs being bopped on the head. Right now, they're last. Has not happened. So if the Steelers go undefeated for the first time since Tom Brady's Patriots, which Tom Brady won MVP, I think Big Ben not only has a chance to beat Patrick Mahomes in the MVP race, he has to be the MVP.
Okay, so
great take.
I actually think you make some decent points, but I think that the comparison to last year is a little faulty in this regard. It's not just, it's like, well, if you remove Big Ben. It's if you remove Big Ben and replace him with utter and total incompetency. They didn't have even an average level backup quarterback last year. They had the duck caller, and then they had Mason. So I think you went from Big Ben, a good quarterback, to a below average level backup, not even an average level backup. That's first of all. Second of all, if we are, Brandon, let me ask you this. What is the right now biggest reason the Steelers are undefeated? I understand it's a team game, but whether, if you had to say the best thing the Steelers do is what?
Their front seven playing defense. That's what separates them from everyone else. I actually talked to Myles Garrett yesterday, and I asked him, what are the Cleveland Browns, what do they have to do to catch up to the Pittsburgh Steelers? And he said that, Nick. He said, we have to play, we have to match their intensity on the defensive side.
So the reason why, that's obviously the right answer. Wilds, the reason why, when the Patriots were undefeated, they were excellent at everything. But what were they the best at? Throwing the football down the field. What are the Packers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Chiefs best at? What is the best part of their team? Their quarterback play. Whether for Russ or for Kyler, it's kind of running and throwing, but it's quarterback play as a whole. For the Steelers, that's not where they're at. So it would just be the undefeated argument. What, Wilds? What are you circling?
They're 7th in points.
What are you circling?
They're 7th in points. Do points matter? The Steelers are 7th in points.
Yeah.
So when you say the Seahawks and the Chiefs, they're 7th in points. They're not the Patriots.
Yeah.
I hate to say, although the Patriots are a playoff team, they strike that from the record.
It's a
seventh in points. That's not like MVP level in points, you know? It's 7th. It's good.
They're gonna be undefeated.
It's like barely in the top 20.
Enjoy it right now. Patrick Mahomes is playing well. The Chiefs are playing well, but they have the Raiders right now coming up, Jenna. The Raiders.
Which is going to submit the MVP, Jenna.
Guys, it is Wednesday. It is hump day. It is admittedly the most average day of the week. Not anymore. Now Wednesdays are Nick's big NFL tier reveal day. It's a reason to get up on Wednesdays. It is next. We are back at